Hi, I'm Eric Mieni. Welcome to Breaking New Ground, where we look at housing and how it affects you. If there's a single issue that dominated the delivery of housing in South Africa during our first decade of democracy, it must be quality or the lack thereof. Many of the houses built during that time were of a very low standard. Oftentimes, construction companies left without even completing the houses. Where did that leave you if you're a potential recipient of a government house? Well, it left you living in a poorly constructed structure that could even fall on you sometimes, or it left you waiting for far too long for your house to be delivered. To rectify this, the government set up the National Homebuilders Registration Council. We'll take a look at exactly how that works. But one of the first jobs of the NHBRC is what the government calls rectification. This is when the NHBRC appoints contractors to finish projects that were incomplete because developers ran away or were unable to complete them for other reasons. To understand this government agency, we are visiting Polokwane's Section 44, where there's an excellent example of how it works. Here in Extension 44, the developer was clearly building low-quality homes. In effect, he was robbing from the poor and the government, abandoning the project and leaving the homes unfinished. The NHBRC and the Provincial Housing Department are now working to rectify the problem and are taking action against the developer. Now, I just need to tell me about the NHBRC. When was it started and what for?
NHBRC was started in 1998. To protect the housing owners and to regulate home builders industry, to make sure that all the houses are built within our province are of good quality and are sustainable, so as they don't have cracks and they are good for human inhabitants.
And how does the provincial government work with an NHBRC?
We enroll all our houses with NHBRC. Then the NHBRC is mandated to do the follow-ups with the contractors to make sure that all the houses that are having defects, they come back and rectify it.
And how is it working so far?
It's working very good because our relationship with NHBRC is good. Before the municipality can issue the occupational certificate, the NHBRC would have gone to site together with our project manager from our department and the municipality jointly to do the final inspection. Then they will, after then the municipality with the NHBRC again will issue occupational certificate that the house is of good quality.
So I guess what I'm asking is, has the National Home Builders Registration Council certified every house in the province,
yes,
even the ones that were built before it was formed?
Yeah, there was an agreement that they must go back again and enroll all the houses that are within the Limpopo.
And that agreement has been fulfilled?
Yeah, it's been fulfilled.
And how many houses, if you have any idea, need to be fixed?
For this financial year, 2008-2009, we went out and did an audit. Then we come up with 2,000 units that has to be rectified for 2008-2009 financial year.
And how far are you so far? Far have you gone?
The arrangements are done. It's just that now to appoint a contractor, and even the process is finalized now. The contractor is going to be appointed.
Well, thanks for telling us here on Breaking New Ground. We are going to be talking to the National Home Builders Registration Council, so we'll see if what you said works together with what they say.
No, thank you.
So if the NHBRC is supposed to ensure the quality of all new government homes being built, how exactly does it do that? So you're the second Peter we're talking to today.
Yes.
Tell me about the NHBRC. What we were told is that it ensures that the government provides quality housing to the people. How does it do that exactly?
What we do, we offer inspection to those houses that are enrolled with the NHBRC. And then in those inspections, we make sure that the inspector is always on site, ensuring that the workmanship on site is good. So, like as our motto, the NHBRC is saying that quality is our priority. We do go to site and check that the work that is being done there is of good quality.
Your obvious unfortunate circumstance is that there are a lot of houses that were built before you were formed.
Yes.
And what have you been doing with regards to those houses?
Those houses that were built before the NHBRC was engaged, we were engaged by the department to do a forensic audit on those houses so that we can determine as to the structures that are there. Are they fit to be occupied by people. And then we determine as to what exactly that need to be done to those structures that are not of good quality. And then we do the recommendations to the department, and then the department is then appoint a contractor to go and rectify the pointed out mistakes on those structures.
Now, when you say enroll the project with the NHBRC, what does that mean exactly?
It's like you are registering the project with the NHBRC so that you give the NHBRC the opportunity to come and inspect and ensure quality in those structures, so that we can be able to provide the warranty to those houses should anything happens to those houses while it is still under warranty. And then the NHBRC will see to it that the contractor will come back and rectify those houses.
The NHBRC requires developers and builders to register with the council. That way, it is able to make sure that the builders comply with its standards. So what drew you to the construction business, Moses?
Now, you see, like most of like in the past, like people never had enough accommodation, people living in shacks, shacks being affected maybe by rains and all those things. So it's very, very bad for people to live in shacks. And it's also not right at all. So when people are accommodated, even if the house may not be big, but when the house is decent, at least that counts a lot.
Yeah. And how do you work with the NHBRC?
Normally what happens is, I will say we all have the same mandate. Because I construct, they come and check. They check my work, they check everything, and at the end of the day, we are sharing the same dream. And that's it. That's quality houses, and that's what we want, all of us. Because if they are not there, without their assistance, I'm not perfect. So without their assistance, I can't do anything. So we are working very, very closely together, and it's very good for both of us.
From a technical perspective, what does that mean in terms of what you have to do for the government?
Look, we have been given a specification, whereby we must build according to specification. They just come and check whether what I've done is according to specification, and the workmanship as well. I also have my responsibility, to make sure that the workmanship is good, but they also come, just to check if my progress, am I progressing very well, or am I doing, am I going to leave houses like this?
Let's go to I think maybe start with where it's just a slab, and you tell me what you do there.
Okay.
And then we'll go to maybe a house where, it's like this one, where and you can tell me how you'd fix that. Okay. And then I'd like to see one of your works, like where you've done a whole job and then it's complete, if you don't mind.
You're welcome.
Okay, should we go to a slab then?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the NHBRC will be appointed by the government to come and see what a contractor did, like here.
Yes.
And they would say, well, here's a slab.
Yes.
They would then look at it and certify if it's correct.
Okay.
Tell the government to find a contractor to finish the job, and you would come in.
That's right.
And what would you do here?
No, first thing is, we normally engage with the NHBRC. I'll first wait for the report for this foundation. Yep. Whether the strength of this foundation, is it fine? Normally, I'll also wait for the recommendations in most cases, whether I must
raise it
or leave it like that or what. But normally I rely much on the recommendations, and from there I'll just tell them, if that's what you've done, that's what you've decided, then I'm gonna do it. But after doing that, I must also call them. Before I can even put the wall on it, I must first call them and say, guys, you know what, I've done that. Please come and check if what I've done is correct or what.
Yeah.
Then if they say yes, then I'll continue with my walls.
Maybe we should go to one of the houses with walls up, and then we can see what you mean by putting up the walls.
That's right.
Okay, so should we go to one of those then?
I think so.
All right. Okay. So let's see if his work is as good as he claims. Okay. So This would be an example of a top structure over the foundation.
That's right.
Before the roof is on.
Yes.
Okay, take me through what would happen here.
First and foremost, if you see, like we must first put the roofs, but now we must also check whether these walls do they have brick force in them or what. But normally we'll also look at the inside walls as well, so that we can plaster our own houses, and from there we will put the roofs on.
Okay.
But now we just have to check them. I mean, we have to, at least to push them. You know, it's shaky. You see, it's shaky.
Yeah.
It's shaky. So
Yeah.
it means we have to reconstruct the inside wall.
Yeah.
There's no any other way, because now you do it, then next week or the following week, you are being called and you are saying, no, you are a bad builder, or.
That's if it hasn't fallen on the people
That's
inside.
right. That's right.
But you'll also get an NHBRC report on this house.
First.
They will say to you, this is what we think of the different walls, this is what we think of the doors, this is what we think you should. So they'll give you a detailed
That's right.
explanation of what you need to do.
Yes.
And then from there you start the work. Well, let's go and see one where you've finished the work
Yes.
and see what that looks like.
No, thank you.
So aside from the plastering, I mean, how does this house differ from the one we just saw when you were showing me the top structure?
But structurally, I will say this house, I'm also quite sure about it, that it will last for a very long time.
Yeah. And of course, when you have a beneficiary moving in, that means the warranty certificate was given, the
That's
NHBRC is happy,
That's right.
and the occupational certificate has been given, which means the municipality is happy.
That's right.
And of course, the beneficiary at the end of it.
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
thanks for coming on BNG. It sounds like
thanks.
you're doing good work out here.
No, thanks. Thanks.
Oh, dumela, Mrs. Khobe.
Thobela.
Le kae?
Rona le kae?
A re gone.
Ee.
Le kene neng ka ntlong ka mo?
Ka mo ntlong ke kene ka di-2 tša May.
This year.
Ee.
How is the house?
Hei ntlo ya ka e botse.
Hmm.
Ee, ke ithabetse ka gore le bana ba ka bana le ka morago robala. And then le kgona go robala le mogala ba ka ka moreng e nngwe, and then ka mongwe re kgona go apeela.
Oh, nice,
Ee.
nice.
Ee.
And mmereko wa hao o botse mo?
Mmereko
Wa mos.
ee o re ga etse dintlo tša di botse ra di thabela ka gore ke kgale re dutse kwa makeišeneng kwa re irisitše mo mekhukhung ya batho ka re padiša di-400 ranta ka kgwedi ane a re šome ee
Wa le tla dula sentle ka ntlong.
ra leboapa ee re ithabetse ntlo tša rena tše
Sure.
ee ka di tlo re thibela le dipula le diphefo tša mariga
Yeah, yeah.
Rectification is one part of the NHBRC's work, but for private home builders, the warranty scheme it offers is perhaps the most important.
I'm Alan Javon. I purchased this property in October 2003. Took occupancy in 1 December 2003. This property was busy in development when I did purchase it, and I signed for the offer to purchase. Near completion, basically it just had its coats of paint, and I fancied the property and it was the right deal for me to do. I learned about the NHBRC warranty when I saw the property advertised. The board standing on the pavement and the estate agent as well explained the NHBRC to me, what it consists of, and when doing application for financing at a banking institution, it's also one of the requirements that we produce a registration certificate that proves that the builder is a member of the NHBRC. The warranty applicable to my property covered by the NHBRC, should there be any structural defects, these would all have been covered by the NHBRC for a period of 5 years. So as a homeowner, I had quite a bit of peace of mind. If we look at this wall over here, we will see it's perfectly fine here. This is where a major problem existed originally. If you look at the photo in the file, you will see there's a hair crack that was developing here, which actually became a very serious crack at a later stage due to foundation purposes, and that weren't completed properly. This was quite effectively repaired by reinforcing the foundations. Okay, you see what was happening on this corner. If we look in the file here, this whole corner, there was actually movement on this corner. There was great cracks here that were alarmingly big, and it was a great concern of mine. And if we could look in the photo here, you will see some of the pictures that we had of the works that was done over there, which actually didn't comply to the NHBRC requirements on the grounds of the engineer saying that he's not happy with it. And NHBRC, when they came in, they said, no, this needs to be reworked completely to stabilize this corner, because this whole portion of the molding was starting to fall down, you know. Basically, that's what was happening at that space in time. And yeah, that was remedied. If we look at the product that we got here now, it's a good piece of engineering work. My experiences regarding NHBRC concerning this whole issue of my home, which is quite a delicate story for me. I mean, as a property owner, I've invested quite a lot of money into this property, and I got good cooperation from NHBRC, and I tell you, my experiences with these guys was great. It was really heartwarming to know I had a bunch of guys here who committed to doing their thing and coming to the party, and I'm very satisfied with the results I got at the end of the day. Thanks.
When it comes to the delivery of housing, nothing could be more important than the quality thereof, because when you move in, you don't want it falling on you at any time. And with me here is Mr. Petula Makati. Welcome to BNG.
Thank you.
Could we start by having a brief history of the NHBRC?
You know, NHBRC started as a Section 21 company, non-statutory, by players in the home building industry. And it became important for government to start protecting housing consumers. In 2001, the minister appointed a council. That is the most supreme body of the institution. And then appointed me as the CEO to run the institution. And that's how NHBRC started.
Okay, so as a Section 21, what did it do?
As a Section 21, more interest was placed on protecting the players in the industry rather than the consumer. Now, with legislation...
And by players in the industry, of course, we mean developers, the people who actually build stuff and then sell it forward.
Exactly. Engineers, architects, town planners, all those people. So when the legislation was then passed, the intention was slanted towards really protecting the housing consumer. Now, as we have the NHBRC today, it protects the housing consumer, and at the same time, it regulates the home building industry by ensuring that each and every builder who is a player in the home building industry is registered with the NHBRC. By implication, it means it is illegal to build a house if you are not registered with the NHBRC. Now, all the builders in the country, we're talking about 16,000 active players and a database of almost 33,000. Although those people are now certified to can build homes. And should they deviate from the construction standards that have been given by the NHBRC, NHBRC has a holding over them. So through the process of regulation, you register, you suspend builders that are not complying. As we are talking today, we also have a code of conduct to which all home builders must observe and comply with. Now, when it comes to the second function, that is the protection of housing consumers, we enroll each and every property that is built, each and every home that is built has to be enrolled with the NHBRC.
You were, born, as it were, to do this after the government started building houses. And we know that the quality thereof was quite bad in the beginning. How is the NHBRC impacting on that?
Yeah, of course, in the subsidy sector, where houses were built prior to the introduction of the NHBRC, we are currently, at the request of the minister, in interaction with the different provinces. We are doing what we call forensic audits, where we will provide the province or the municipality with information relating to the status of the structure and the necessary remedial works that should take place. But in addition, during construction, housing consumers have access to the NHBRC if they are dissatisfied with anything they see on site. For example, if you doubt the quality of the material on site, you can call the NHBRC. We provide a conciliation service between the housing consumer and the home builder. We also handle complaints that comes either from the home builder or from the housing consumer. So we serve impartially there to ensure that the house will be completed in time as per the schedule. But what is important, even in the non-subsidy sector, each and every housing consumer must have a written contract with the builder. In the subsidy sector, the government sector, It's government that signs with us. Provincial Housing Department will say, yes, we need your services in this area. Then we will be able then to issue those enrollment certificates on behalf of the government.
So in addition to all of that, of course, you have to then ensure that the final house is of the highest quality possible.
Of course, the ultimate is during construction, NHBRC must inspect. If, for argument's sake, a builder is not complying, the first thing that our inspectors do on site is to issue a yellow card, as we know it in soccer. And if he fails to rectify, then we issue a red card. A red card says to this builder, if you are not complying, you'll be listed, you'll be suspended. And then we take that red card, we record it in our books. We have got a grading system in the NHBRC that's going to be implemented this year, where every builder will be graded. All the builders that have been with us for a period of 2 years will be graded. And they will start getting discounts from the NHBRC. So this, we believe, will encourage the industry or the home builders to comply further with the national standards.
What have the highlights been in the existence of the NHBRC?
We have seen a change of heart by the industry itself. There is more acceptance of the NHBRC, and major players in the industry really want us to deal with bad builders. Now, this gradual acceptance is a strong positive for us. And our role in the subsidy sector, with the awareness that every unit will be checked, we're starting to see a change in the way home builders are constructing subsidy houses. It's no longer a question of getting in, getting a quick buck, and walking away. Now, in general, NHBRC started very small, but now we're really big. We've got offices in all the provinces. We have even established satellite offices in wide, geographically spread provinces like the Eastern Cape, Limpopo, Northwest, to make NHBRC accessible to the people. We couldn't do this when we started because we did not have sufficient funding. But these are some of the measures, I would say, achievement. When we did inspections in 2001, it was really sporadic. But today we are saying each and every unit that is built will be inspected. But in addition to that, we are also looking at expanding our benefits to the housing consumers. Research is being conducted to see if NHBRC can introduce some of the interventions in other countries, like houses, incomplete houses that are not covered by the warranty at the current moment. These are some of the things that we intend to do. But it will depend on affordability and also giving housing consumers a number of options on the warranty scheme. We're looking at expanding the warranty from 5 years to 10 years. And we need to say what would be the implications and what would be the fees if we were to introduce all these changes. Critical to us today is we want members of the public to fully utilize the services of the NHBRC and ensure that their properties are enrolled and they will benefit from the NHBRC.
Mr. Makati, thank you so much for coming on BNG.
Thank you.
Please remember to send us photographs of the improvements you've made to your government house, and you could win 10,000 Rand in additional materials. Send your pictures to P.O. Box 31201, Bramfontein 2017, or email it to bng@housing.gov.za.
Well, that's it for this edition of Breaking New Ground. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again next week on Monday, same time, 10 p.m. right here on SABC2.